மேம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் மேம். மேம்
ஜாயின் பண்ணிடுவாங்களா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்?
ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டே இல்ல மேம், ஜாயின் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் மேம்.
ஓகே சார்ட்ட கேளு. சார் சரவணன் சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாங்களா?
ஓகே ஓகே. இல்ல நான் என்னன்னா ஒரு 2 more minutes we can wait now.
ஆமா ஓகே. பாலமுரளி சார் சீக்கிரம் பாருங்க, ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் பார்க்கலாம். ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்துருவாங்க.
சரி
10:35 பீன் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
Okay.
Shall we start, sir?
Okay, we can start. Okay.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah. We'll start.
Okay. Prabhu sir, Ganapati sir.
Bala, we are in online only, Bala. We can start.
Shall we start? Okay. Sir, Ganapati sir, karna.
Bala sir.
Okay, sir.
Our join பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். Okay.
Okay, they'll be joining.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
We'll start. Good morning to all.
Okay, ma'am. Hello, guys. Ma'am, one minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, guys.
Okay.
Happy morning to everyone. So this is one of the happiest moment in our pandemic situation. Senior Professor R. Saravanan, the President of TNSF, Tamil Nadu Science Forum in Coimbatore, now with us. You can ask any question relevant to science and as well as to the environment. You can ask me in a very free manner. There is no issues. The languages also, if you are in Tamil also, we are encouraged after completing the session. Suppose if you have any questions, if you have interested in doing any projects, you can approach sir after this program. So we will give you the details and everything in our group. You can ask them. Now we are going to start our today's session. Please give a welcome address, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning to all. The greatest threat to our planet is belief that someone else will save it. With this quote, on behalf of management of Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology, Department of Science and Humanities, I am privileged to welcome all of you for this webinar on முற்றழிவை நோக்கி முன்னேறுகிறோமா. At this junction, I welcome our resource person, most respected Rishi Saravanan, கோவை மாவட்ட தலைவர் மற்றும் மாநில செயற்குழு உறுப்பினர், தமிழ்நாடு அறிவியல் இயக்கம். Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I'm elated to welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. K. Karnakaran. I extend warm welcome to deans, faculty members of Physics Department, and all our beloved students. Welcome you all. Hope this webinar will be an eye-opener for all of us. And students, be free to ask many questions with the sir. He is a very experienced professor So you can ask your doubts and so that you can improve your knowledge very much. Thank you. Now hand over the session to Balamurali. Balamurali sir, Professor.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving a nice welcome speech. So I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Professor R. Saravanan sir. He completed his graduation in English literature and followed by the postgraduate diploma in personal management and labor, welfare and industrial relationship. During his period, he is acting as a various positions, especially he is a president of Tamil Nadu Science Forum from 2015 onwards. Right now, Sir is the president of Coimbatore chapter. So I would like to welcome our Professor R. Saravanan sir to give you a speech. Please, sir.
Thank you, Balu. First of all, I want to thank you, the staff member of the college, and their students. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. When I was going as a, what do you call National Children's, every year there will be a National Children's Science Congress at national level. It is on the 3 levels. First it will be the district level, second on the state level, finally it will be on the national level. Only last year and this year only it was not conducted during the pandemic, because of the pandemic. When I was accompanying the children, some 30 children from Tamil Nadu to the National Children's Science Congress 2019 at Trivandrum. There I saw a caption. What is knowledge? Knowledge is knowing something about everything and everything about something. I am neither of that. I know only something about something. From that point of view, my opinion is one who uses his knowledge for self is an intelligent, but one who uses his knowledge for the society is an intellectual. I hope you, my dear students, you have to become intellectuals rather than intelligence. Let me start my sharing, go to the main subject. Okay, have you seen that sharing?
Yes, sir.
Full screen, okay. One thing now, all the things around us, including we, are built up of atoms. These atoms are right from the Big Bang. It is assumed by the scientists that nearly 13.6 to 14 billion years ago, that Big Bang happened. Beginning it was chaos, After that, stars evolved and galaxies formed. Galaxies. It is estimated now more than 100 million galaxies are in the universe, and our galaxy, Milky Way, has more than 100 million stars. Our galaxy's width is nearly 1 million light years. In that, our sun family is just at the edge of the Milky Way. We, as a human being, is constituted of 7 trillion atoms. These 7 trillion atoms was formed in the nucleus of stars. At the beginning, only hydrogen and helium were there, and not the heavy elements, other elements. Other elements. No, just please bear with me. My grandchild is not. Time But where that all other atoms came from? Other atoms came from the nucleus of the stars, where that fusion happened. All these elements are happened. Okay. What we see in the universe is only 4% of the matter. The remaining 96% is black matter and black energy. Just this for information only I'm doing it. Let us come to our point. Sun family. Sun was created nearly some 4.6 billion or 460 years back from a nebula, Sun nebula. It is theorists are proposed by scientists that stars also have life like birth and death. Most of the stars now we are around us are second generation stars. Our sun is the third generation. Before the third, the beginning, the big star, or very big stars forms and it dies with a limited, small life. Then there comes mid-range stars. The size of the star is inversely proportional to the life of it. Now we got a sun is our star. Most of the matter or energy in the sun nebula is centered. Nearly 98% of the matter concentrated in the sun. Only remaining 2% is in the outer side as a sun family. We know that very well. You know that we got some 9 planets. Then what is called? I can. Are you following? If you students feel it's difficult, I will shift over also to Tamil now. Then in the not only planets are there in the sun family, there is asteroid belt, there is Kuiper belt, there's Oort cloud. The asteroid belt, it is between Jupiter and Mars. The Kuiper belt is out of all these planets. The Kuiper belt is there. From there also, like asteroid belt, there are some masses around spin around the sun. It is like we all it know Uluduvadai, like Uluduvadai say all this there. And Oort cloud is complete, is a globe, outer globe. Outer layer of the globe is like a globe like structure. Like let us come to our Earth. In the beginning of the Earth, there was nascent. What do we call Tamil? Early planets are there. They are circling, they are coming around the sun in their own way. They collide with each other, and during some course of years, they formed into planets. Nearly 60 crore years, the beginning, the planet was bombarded by other nascent planets, asteroids, meteors, and comets. It was believed that it is a hypothesis that the water in our planet is by the gift of meteors and comets from Oort cloud. Most of the matter in the Oort clouds are water. So from there it comes, and most of the water we have got in our planet is believed from comets. During this period, a planet of the size of Mars collided with the Earth, and the result of that, our moon has born. Let us go to the evolution of it. See, formation of Earth is nearly 4.56 crores of years before. I mean, the hydrosphere happened only 4.2. That is after 60,000, 60 crores of years. The first prebiotic chemistry happened from 42 to 4.2 to 4 million years back. These prebiotic chemicals joined to form the first RNA of the world. That is nearly about 4 million years ago. This RNA combined, and there was first DNA protein happened in just about 3.6 million years ago. And from then, the life began to flourish on the Earth. There are two kind of hypotheses how life happened in the Earth. One hypothesis, because of prebiotic chemicals formed during the early stage of formation of the Earth. Other is, it is brought by meteors, comets, or some life particles going around the Earth was attracted towards it, and there happened the life began. However, we got a life on our Earth. Somewhat some 3.5 billion years ago, cyanobacteria formed. The cyanobacteria lived in the carbon dioxide. They absorbed the carbon dioxide and they produced oxygen. At the early stage, there was not this much of oxygen on our atmosphere. Only cyanobacteria produced the oxygen, and our oxygen content increased. Life on Earth. The life on Earth is usually they are separating to some ages now. Paleozoic ages, Mesozoic ages, Cenozoic. They subdivide these ages into small items now. You can, from the pictures, you know that how the life evolved in this. We human beings evolved only some 6 million, 6 lakhs years ago before. Before, by that, even though there was a bacteria on the Earth, the multiplication of, deviation or variety of life evolved only 54 million years ago. And there was, it is believed that more than 1 billion species lived on this Earth, out of which nearly 99% have been extincted due to the evolution of Earth. In the evolution of Earth, there was eruption in the Earth, and these eruptions wiped away the living organism at those times. It is believed that there are 6 or 7, and let's take a 7 extinctions were there in the Earth. The first extinction happened some 500 million years ago. That is during Cambrian Ordovician period. Some 450 million years ago, it is Ordovician and Silurian age. Nearly 86% of the living organism on the time when extincted. Some 360 million years ago, 75% of the species are eradicated during Devonian and Carboniferous year. Some 250 million ago, 96% of the species has been lost, out of which 70% are animals. That is during Permian Triassic period. This is also called great dying because now nearly 96% of the species has been erased from the earth. Some 200 million years ago, it happened during Jurassic period. I mean, end of the Triassic and beginning of the Jurassic period. Some 80% of the species are lost. Some 65 million ago happened Cretaceous Tertiary period. 76% of the species lost. This is, most of you know that dinosaurs, eradicated during the 65 million ago. And from that period, after the eradication of big animals like dinosaurs, very, very small creatures lived, and now they become multiplied and spread all over the globe, and on which mammals are very, very important one. They are the big animals. Only mammals are the big animals. Now, from it is now present extinction. Let us come to the present extinction. During the civilization of civilized part of the human beings, now in the last 1,500 years, we are eradicated. Now we not only we also due to some other things, nearly 780 species has been eradicated. In the last 200 to 20,000 to 2 million years, nearly majority of the species has been eradicated. Because of the eradication of their living, because of human activities. For the human activities, they destroyed forest to make them as pastures or agricultural land. Because of that, nearly 50% of the species has been eradicated. Some examples now. And also now, when a new species, especially hunting species introduced, or even non-hunting species introduced to a new environment, that new species eradicated all the other environment. Changed the environment into. During the Second World War, one of the some tree snakes has been transferred to. Knowingly or unknowingly, it has been transferred to the island in Guam Island. The Guam Island, when it introduced the tree snakes, eradicated most of the birds because it lives on the birds' eggs. Birds have been eradicated. In the 1944, some 29 reindeers were introduced into St. Matthew Island in the Bering Sea. In 1963 is multiplied into 6,000 in numbers. Its main food is lynxes. They're slow being lynxes. When a hot winter struck, all the reindeers have died except some 41 females and one sterile male. Next. Switching predators. What we call switching predators, as I told you, when we introduce one new species into a new environment, that species called switching predators. So the most when example is the human being is the first in that list. We are the first switching predator because our diet consists a large thing of large amount of eatables, animals and plants. Some 1500 years back, Polynesians arrived Hawaii and they extinguished nearly most of the Hawaii birds. Moa of New Zealand. This, this great bird, nearly 10 feet high, it was the prehistoric bird in the New Zealand. It is called Mau by Maoris. Maoris means the people, Polynesians who settled there in the New Zealand are called Maoris. These Maoris, when they settled there in New Zealand, they ate them and what is called completely eradicated them. And also when we come Madagascar is abundant of prehistoric animals. This and all the called nearly half a dozen bird species. They called elephant birds. That much of height and size they have got, and nearly we have eradicated some 2,000 lemurs. When it has happened now, the first settlement of human beings in Madagascar, they eradicated these animals and birds. One more very, very interesting example is dodo of Mauritius. And it has been spotted during 16th century by the Europeans when they arrived there, and during the 17th century it is completely eradicated. Dodo. One pathetic condition is one Kalvari tree is there. That tree only germinate when the seed is digested by dodo. The dodo's excreta only the Kalvari trees are germinating. Was last 300 years there was no new germinated Kalvari tree in the Mauritius, and the scientists are working vigorously to regerminate Kalvari. They have tried so many processes but failed. Only on the digestion by their seeds are digested by the dodo. These Kalvari trees will grow. East Island, you might have seen that East Island. The East Island, some very high, 35 feet height sculptures are made, with the rocks. It weighs nearly what is called 80-85 tons of weight is there. When you see there's nobody in the Easterly, but these statues are there. When it is how it they come now? Before Polynesians are going into Easter Island, it was full of forest, and these Polynesians cut out rocks from the volcanic rocks, and they made the statues and brought them to the shore. How they brought them? Without any vehicles or like they cut logs. On the logs, they moved the stone to the plains. By going on cutting the logs for various purpose, it is deforested. The whole island was deforested, and drought has come. There is no way to live there, so they abandoned the island and settled to some new island. Not only in the Pacific Islands, in the Atlantic also, this extinction happened. Atlantic and Mediterranean. In the West Indies, the ground slopes, some rodent of big size, the size of bear was there, and various owls are there, and several size, but small to very big size, and a giant koala, the size of small, medium, and very big, and very big animals were there. They're all been eradicated. In the Crete and Cyprus islands of Mediterranean, there was pygmy hippos, giant tortoise, dwarf elephants, and dwarf deer. All these were been eradicated. Thousands of species lost in the islands, the ocean islands. Or the eradication happened only in the islands, not in the continents? Yes, it was in the continent. When some 50,000 years back, that Australia was invaded by aborigines. They called aborigines. That natives Australians are called aborigines. When they entered, they also eradicated large animals. There is a conflict between the scientists whether that happened because of human disturbance or because of the global changes there now. It is a debate on that. When some 11,000 years back, human being entered America through the what is called Bering Natter. When reached America, there was huge animals, mammoths, mastodons. Mastodon is a animal. This is a mastodon. This is mastodon. This is like somewhat like related to elephant, and this also elephant family. These two are elephant family. Big animals like mastodons and everything has been eradicated by human beings. Now, what is the development is now? The development when during the old Stone Age, when the people entered America, their weapons have been made very technically made small and sharp. It helped them to hunt the animals now. It was the question: how a human population can eradicate all the big animals now? One thing now, early human beings were hunter-gatherers. Their life is going on by hunting and gathering plants and fruits from them. In America, when they entered in that, it was filled with, when they entered America, it was filled with ice, because during the ice age only they entered America. Though there was a scarcity in the plants, so they are forced to hunt only the animals. They kill the animal, they use the bones and the skin. The remaining flesh, they will use it for some days, and they are moving. They are moving and moving. When moving to other places, it is not possible for them to carry all the flesh. They leave it there and go for it and hunt on another one. Like that, when they reach South America, from North to South America, They eradicate all the big animals. How these eradication lead us to drought or a desert? No. It's an Anasazi accomplice. The Anasazi is called the people who called at the ancient times. I think in the historical Chaho Cultural National Historical Park in the New Mexico, you can see this kind of buildings. Nearly it is 670 feet long, 350 feet wide, and nearly 5 stories of building. Until in America, highest skyscrapers were built. This was the highest building in America. But there is nobody around this. No. They might have been built by the human beings, but around that buildings, nobody is there. Why? What happened that? Because no, there was to build the trees, they cut what is called trees and bring in to build their houses, and they're going on cutting it nearly more than 50 miles. They have built a road to bring all this wood. But because of the deforestation, erosion happened, and it was not possible for them to cultivate any agricultural product. They left that place, leaving these buildings. This is also one of the examples of you might have seen this kind of build in the English movies, no? That is what is called Indiana Jones. No, I think Indiana Jones. You have to see this kind of this. This is in the Jordan. The Jordan also they build these kind of very big buildings, but carved in the mountains. But one more thing, no, this Central Asia is the cradle of civilization, from where wheat, barley, and so many cereals has been spread all over the world. The first cultivated human cultivated agriculture is happened only in the Middle East. But nowadays it is a barren island, barren day, because it is also because of the human activities. No, Maya, you made that American Maya civilization. There's also we know there is nobody into her Maya. No, Maya. Regarding Maya, the Red Indians were well developed citizens, are developed civilized person. But when Europeans came there, they are still in the Bronze Age, not in the Iron Age. Their weapons are not made up of steel, and they doesn't know the horse. Even though when the first enter into America, there was horses, but all those horses been eaten by their predecessors. When there is no horse, but whereas in the mainland, old world, the horse has been developed, and they're using for as a vehicle, as a, you can call this in the modern time as a tank to pull the chariots, and they're using horse to fight with the enemies. Or in the history also you come to know that Genghis Khan came only on the horses to invade other countries. But there is no horse in the America, and also they are only the Bronze Age. They have been eradicated, completely swiped out. The Red Indians and swiped out of America. Now they have been pushed into one corner. Now some Red Indian what's called communities have been completely eradicated by Europeans. Ripple effect. You can know what is ripple effect. Yeah, eradicating or taking away some species from some particular environment leads to great catastrophe on that environment. For example, no, last century in Barra, Colorado, 3 hunters, the big hunters, on jaguar, pumas, and harpy eagles, they have been removed from the Palagorada. They hunt, these big predators hunt monkeys, pecarious, and cotimundis, and also some big, also medium-sized seed eaters, such as agotis and pacas. When these are all removed, no, these monkeys and other small eradicators, they develop and they hunting only small animals, which leads that big seed-eating animals grow their population bust, which leads that the change in the plant patterns of the island. Only small trees grown and big trees have been by, I mean, the small trees overtook the big trees. This kind of ripple effect happens when some species are removed from certain environment. All this because happen, no, there is because of the development of we human beings, you know. Some 8,000 BC, you know, only 550 lakh people were there on the earth. And during 16,000 year, it was 50 crores. From 1750, it was 75 crores. In 1800, it was 100 crores. In 1930, it is 200 crores. 1960, it is 3 billion. 1960, 3 billion, 75, 4 billion, 87, 5 billion, 1986 billion, 11, 7 billion. Probably now it may be 8 billions, but as on the last data, as on March 2020, it was 7.8 billion. This increase in the human population leads to eradication of or the extinction of so many life or species from the earth. And also the 4 kind of activities leads to eradication of or extinction of other species. One is hunting, other is introduction of new animals or new species, then eradication of living environment. Sorry. And just now. Then the ripples effect. It all affects the human, I mean, other species eradication. If it goes like this kind of development goes like that. At the end of this century, nearly 50% of nearly half of the species on the earth will be eradicated. So what is our what we are going to do? One thing, no, I have cited so many examples of the past historical degradation or deforestation or eradication like that. then our forefathers have been not informed as we are now. They didn't know that if we do that, this will happen like that. They didn't know that, but now we know that from their experience that this kind of oh, I mean wrong usage of resource will lead to destruction. So it is our duty to plan how intelligently, how will we going to use this, are going to exploit our resource or exploit our this. This is all in your future have generation. You people you have to decide. What I'm going to. One of the more main thing is now our consumer attitude. We are going on consuming, not only food, and other luxurious items. These are all results in the eradication of deforestation and wiping out of species, both animal and plant species. Oh, I feel that one of the great philosopher, thinker, I think BBC has during this end of the previous 2000 year, they conducted a kind of selection, citing some 10 leading philosophers. It was an open election to the public. A man who has not been mentioned in that list has been proposed as the topmost thinker of the millennium. That was Karl Marx. Karl Marx said that he classified the history into four levels. He says that human involvement only changed the history. He classifies that gather hunters, then slaves, then landowners, then industrialists. In the industrial environment, he thought about society which will work, which will take what it needs and left the and not taking more than where it needs. That is what he called as a communism. I feel no, if the things goes on like that, such a society will not happen, and we are going to put the rock on our head. One of the leading professor, Gerard Diamond, who is the author of Gun, Germs and Steel, and so many other articles. So he has written also one of the best, The Rise and Fall of the Cat Chimpanzee, in which book he says now there are two great clouds on our head, above our heads. One is atomic bomb, other is this kind of extinction. But I already showed you the seven kind of six kind of extinction. All those six extinction happened due to nature. It may be due to eruption, or there may be impact of asteroid, like that. But the seventh extinction will happen only because Homo sapiens, we human beings, are going to do seventh extinction. It is our duty to pull back that speed, or apply the brake to the speed which we are going on exploiting our environment and our resources. Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
Prabhu sir.
Bala sir.
Sir, please give me water. Thanks, sir.
Very good morning to all of you. Sir, thank you, Professor Saravanan sir. We
Thank you, sir.
got a very wide information from you.
Thank you.
Thank you, students, for joining with this program. I thank on behalf of our Hindustan Management Group of Institution and our CEO, sir, Dr. Karnagaran, sir, and our heartfelt thanks to our HOD Madam, Dr. KP Uma, for arranging this program, and our faculty members, faculty colleagues, and we thank everyone for joining this program. Thank you, sir, for
Thank
your
you.
valuable
Thank you.
information. It gives us
Thank
a lot of information regarding that entire geography and the world history. So you are giving a good information, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Now, I am one more thing to the students, and maybe you staff members also can. Most of you may be the first generation graduates, first generation you entered the college. My humble request is no, what you are going to study is for your economic, well-being of your life. But don't stop there. You develop some other interest also, which may be interesting you. I know that one of the doctor in Chennai is a number one astrophotographer. For the living, he is doing medical. For his satisfaction, is doing astronomy. Like that, you do. After you are finishing your degree, you may be engineer. But taking interest into life, take something apart from this your profession. For that, we have to read lot of things. So, reading only make you intelligent and intellectual. I hope, apart from your subjects, please read more books, which you like. It may be literature, and it may be history, and it may be philosophy, and may be anything else. Develop a kind of reading. Ferocious reading only make you intelligent and intellectual. My request, kind request, you people read books, books, books. Thank you.
Professor, thank you. Thank you Thank you for giving nice lectures.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from?
Mail ID and as well as your mobile number to your students, they can ask the
Okay,
question.
sir. Okay.
Yeah,
Now?
so that
Okay.
students.
But dear students, I say that there is no question is foolish.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, if you place a question, if you fire a question, it is only to know more